I gave up on it. You would have to. I tried mostly anything and everything that I could with this coffee. I've already talked about it. Nicaraguan, strictly highly grown, European prepared coffee. Oh, it's organic too, if you care about that. I tried everything, everything on this coffee. Nothing was really working. I actually did give up on it. Tell you the truth. I was just making it for my wife at the time, and she usually likes it a lot stronger. I think she's gotten used to me, diluting it to the 1 to 15 ratio that I customarily use. So this one day didn't really measure. And I gave her coffee. I didn't even think about mine. I just took a sip and I was shocked. I was confused. I was wondering where this came from. I looked at the packaging or the box that I put it in, and I was wondering, is this the exact same coffee? Something about it feels different. So then I just sat there for a while, mesmerized, because that's what we say when we're really confused and we don't know what the fuck is going on, especially somebody who brews coffee every day like you do, right? I just sat there wondering what was going on. And I kept sipping and drinking, and thinking how this was possible. I'm sure it wasn't a 1 to 15 ratio. I didn't quite measure it out, but something about it just didn't seem right. I don't know if I made another cup that day, but I know for sure the next day I did. And here's the thing about this. I roasted it a couple different ways. I roasted it as a light roast. That's something I don't really get down with. I roasted it as a medium roast and a dark roast. So I was on a quest to see why that was the case. Was it a fluke? Was it the water chemistry just lining up perfectly? Me not even noticing? Was it the multiple pours that I did? I start second guessing myself throughout the whole situation. So I just kind of kept it simple. I know there's a ratio that I don't really fuck with, mess with, not as much, just because for the most part, a lot of times it's going to present the way that it does. But I gave it a try, gave it a whirl. So I tried 1 to 10. I think this one was a medium roast. And I put it through its paces. Not that many paces, just essentially one actual brew, right? So when I did that, brewed the cup, drank it again, and was completely shocked again. The coffee started coming alive. Something that it never did before. I can start tasting the notes on the bag or what the importer was telling me that they were tasting on the bag when they were doing their cupping. It was still subtle, but it was still there. It was more present. I can see it clearly. It's like an out of focus camera somehow getting into focus and me understanding exactly what it's talking about. It's like somebody's talking to you. You can barely hear them, but now clearly you hear them. You hear everything that they're talking about. It's clear as day. This was this Nicaraguan right here. I was really shocked. So I tried it at a light roast, 1 to 10. Dark roast, 1 to 10. I was really going crazy, bananas. Couldn't really believe it. Then I start second guessing myself even more. I'm like, why did this work? I didn't want to try 1 to 15 again. I didn't want to be disappointed by this coffee because it truly does disappoint. 1 to 15 and beyond. It's crap. And it wasn't a fluke. Try different brewers. It's still tasty. Sometimes a little bit sweeter than others. Didn't even have to try the booster. The booster, there's still something about it that doesn't rub me the right way with the booster, but that's a story for another day. And I just sat there and just thought about this coffee and why this worked. I even did another video telling people that it's probably best that you try coffees at a couple different ratios, more than just beyond what you think that you should. Because if you think about it, none of us really mess around with 1 to 10 ratio. It's too harsh. It's too strong. It clouds the coffee so much to where it's just too in your face. It's not subtle at all. It's just brute force right there, and you don't know what to really make of it. But this coffee, for some odd reason, I don't know, because of the way it's grown, how the sugars are actually growing a lot slower, develop, and all that stuff. Probably because it's washed. Washed coffees tend to have that tendency of it being, you have to push it a little bit further just to get the taste out of it. Could it also be the way that it was prepared? Because there's no nasty bitter notes on this coffee. That's probably why I don't like it as much, because it is what it is. It tells you exactly what it is. There's no defects. There's no like craziness with this funkiness of the coffee or anything like that. It's just straight and narrow. It just tells you exactly what it is. If you get close to it, if you allow it to come to you. But 1 to 10 ratio on this coffee in particular, its taste is so clear, so lively compared to its counterpart of the 1 to 15 ratio that we normally stay in the pocket with, right? Or 1 to 16, even 1 to 17. Don't do 1 to 18. I'm serious. Don't. That's just too far down the rabbit hole. But you get what I'm saying. It's like 1 to 10 is like a danger zone. And I thought about it quite a bit too when I'm thinking about this whole thing, because I used to live in 1 to 10 ratio. I used to stay there quite a bit. And when I did, it was fine. The coffees were fine, especially if it was a chocolatey nutty coffee. I didn't have any issues of deciphering what I was tasting. It was just strong in the beginning, but then after a while, it just started to die down. But those fruity bastards, those acidic coffees, 1 to 10 will just hurt you, hurt your soul, hurt your stomach, hurt everything about you. Kind of crazy to really say that, but it's true. I know if you tried it, when you've made something a little too strong, especially if it's like a Kenyan, Ethiopian, even a Colombian, pink bonbon, whatever it may be, and that acidity just won't quit. It's just right in your face. It is what it is, right? But that's what we're really used to. That's what we see. But this coffee, I tell you, it is so true. It spoke to me. It told me its darker secrets. It told me about his life. It told me all the things that I wanted to know from the very beginning. But that's the thing about this. I didn't allow it to be who it was. I simply gave up on it. And a lot of times when we talk about coffee, when I talk about coffee and I give it a couple rounds of brews, and if it doesn't taste right, I'm out. I'm done with it. I'll develop a protocol for coffee. I'll figure it out. But I will say this. You have to push past your comfort zone sometimes. When something doesn't work, you're just there and you are trying different things. And sometimes it's not about the grind size. It's not about that temp. It's not about the water chemistry. It's not about that brewer. Sometimes it could just be that ratio. And even the ratio that we are not used to playing around with. Because truthfully, even at 1 to 10, you can just bypass it, right? You can just go ahead and add a little bit of water if it's too strong for you. But I kid you not, this Nicaraguan organic, strictly highly grown coffee, European prepared, lives and dies in the 1 to 10 ratio. It does. And some coffees are going to be like that. Just because it's strictly highly grown or organic or wash means that you need to follow this protocol. All I'm really saying is that just try it all. You may be shocked and surprised how much the coffee truly, really comes alive. Because that's what it was in this case. That's what it did for me in this situation. It may not work for another coffee because it really didn't work for my Ethiopian coffee that I tried a couple of days ago. It was too sharp. It was too acidic. The coffee brews really well at 1 to 16 ratio. But this coffee, absolutely amazing. It just truly comes alive. And I'm sorry, Nicaraguan coffee. I did give up on you. And I'm glad that this happy accident did happen. Because now I can talk to others about how great you are, how amazing you are, how special you are. And more than anything, giving others an opportunity to try a different approach when it comes to drinking that coffee. Because 1 to 10 may be what you need to be, especially if it's not talking right. If it's not talking to you, it's not singing, it's not presenting itself to you to where you can actually enjoy it. But then again, it could be too that it sucks. But try mostly anything and everything and get out your comfort zone. Talk to you later. Bye.